Hello, all you soft prancing ponies. It's time to continue the career in IL2. Just checking the options haven't changed. There has been a small update since I last flew. Since mission 3, we're now moving on to mission 4, obviously, because 4 comes immediately after 3. So just waiting for us to get our mission brief. We do have an option to start mission, but I'm not entirely clear what the mission is. So I'm just going to check the planning room in case there's any information here. Aha, pending missions. It's escort. So we've got another escort mission. We've got 6 aircraft in the formation, and my aircraft appears to need some maintenance. So we'll go with our Fontenot. So here's the mission map. As you can see, we've been given a rather disappointing flight plan again. I'm not entirely happy with the way IL2 here is giving these flight plans, and the main cause for my concern is the fact that it likes to send us down long lengths of the front line, exposing the formation to flak. I think a proper thoughtful military planner would get the formations back across to our lines as quickly as possible on a flight plan which is perpendicular to the front line, and then depart off towards airfields. This is a very inefficient and, shall we say, dangerous flight plan. So I think the game needs to be adjusted just to take account of that, perhaps. Let's get things underway. And, okay, we're in cockpit here. We're paused, so I'm just going to bring controls back. Oh, that motion blur is really ugly. I'm gonna fix that motion blur, I think. I'm really not happy with it. There goes a flare, so I guess we're ready to go now. I'll open up the rads. There's the second flare. And we'll get the prop fully open. Waiting for my wingman to get airborne here. I've got some bombers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bombers. Now they're starting to pop in and out with the LOD. They're doing that same LOD thing that they did in the last mission when we had A20s. So I'm assuming they're A20s. And that's really a bug that they need to fix. These bombers popping in and out. I'm going to get airborne straight away because these guys tend to leave it a bit late, and then we get well behind the bombers, and you need to be up with them as soon as possible. Right, sounds like my flight leader may be about to get airborne, but I'm going to persist with my early takeoff. Gear up. Throttle back a little bit. And start climbing. The objective is off in that direction, so I'm going to start a turn early. Got eyes on the bombers there. Up there. Now there's only 3 bombers that are visually showing. Just 3. It's the LOD problem. If we zoom in, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which could be the full formation. Ah, there's a 9th back there. And they're just about to fly over the top of me now, so we'll start a left turn. We are co-out now with the bomber formation. So I'm going to slip over there and try and join them. We'll get in nice and close, just like we did in the other escort mission that I flew. When we sat, you can see them disappearing. There's another one just flicked out, another one flicked in. Keep going on about it, but it's just so distracting. I'm really surprised they didn't see that when they were doing their testing, because it's such a blatant and glaring bug. Okay. It's one thing flight sim developers often seem to not notice, and it's such a critical thing, is aircraft disappearing. And nice and close to this A-20 here. Have a little look. Another one out the front. Looks like the leader. So we're just about coming up to the front lines. Very short trip this. And I wonder how, should I use the word realism? I wonder how realistic it is for a base so close to the front line to be an active fighter field. I might actually see if there's any historical research about that and whether or not that field was actually active when the front line was located here, because it just seems so close to the front line at 3 or 4 minutes flying time. It must have been under threat the whole time. Right, it's probably time to start hunting for enemy contacts now. We're very close to the target and I already have flak firing. I'll start a bit of a climb now just because this is about where the fighters showed up. In that other mission, which was almost a cookie cutter copy of what we're doing today. I'm probably now less than a kilometre from those bombers, maybe about a kilometre, and they're already disappearing, which makes doing an escort mission like this really, really difficult. I should expect to see those bombers from 10 kilometres away. Okay, the radio is alive, so I wonder if the AI have spotted some incoming bandits. Don't seem to be reacting to anything yet. I only have 4 bombers, 3 bombers visual. Just 3, now 5, now 7. I'm sorry to keep mentioning the same thing, but it's really, really disappointing. And rather game breaking. You have to adjust your tactics for the game, which is something you should never really have to do. Especially if you're trying to go for a realistic sim environment. You shouldn't have to compensate for failings in the software all the time. Okay, I've got a fighter which looks to be turning, but I think it's a friendly. Contacts low, 1. Almost certainly hostile. I'm throttling up to attack speed. S-files in attack position. It's got to be enemy. Coming in from an angle like that. He doesn't have a wingman though. What is he thinking? He's trying to line up on a bomber. Will he get any shots off? And he's dived away. So he's doing what I've seen before. The 109s come in, they try to attack the bombers. They can't line up on them well enough. And then they end up shedding their altitude at the very first attack. I know no human player would do that. Yeah, this is almost exactly what we saw in my first escort mission. And then within a few minutes he's down on the deck, given up all his altitude. Yeah, okay. Where's he gone? There. Right on his caboose here. And he is now folded in half and crashing to his doom. I didn't think to record the track file for that, so I'll stick the track recording on now. More fighter v fighter action over here, so we'll go and have a look. Got a venting fighter down low, which I believe is a German aircraft. Yes, it is. And he's got 2 friendlies on his 6, so I'm going to leave him alone now. We're going to climb back up to the bombers. At least I can see them. They've dropped their bombs and they are now vectoring for the 3rd waypoint. I think it's the 3rd waypoint. And this is the flight now where we go straight across the lines. Okay, those bombers are firing. There is a fighter in amongst the bomber formation. He's climbing up on the left-hand side of the formation. He is shooting badly. He's being shot at. At least there's return fire. He is a terrible shot, this AI. And he's basically at low throttle, weaving back and forward, almost inside the bomber formation. So this is another AI fighter who doesn't know how to attack bombers. He's got one though. He's making himself very vulnerable. Just sitting there going left and right inside the formation almost. rather than going up, rolling over and coming back down on them with some speed. Let's close up the reds and whatnot here. He's still just sitting inside this bomber formation. I think we may be able to turn the supercharger on. Yeah, we can. There he goes, off to the left and high. He may have seen us arriving and decided to check out what we were. Doesn't appear to be travelling very fast here. I wonder if he got damaged by the bombers. He's still on my 12. He's inverted and he's just flying along inverted. This is some very weird AI behaviour. In the last mission I actually had a bit of praise for the AI, but in this mission I must withdraw that. The AI is behaving rather weirdly. Very slow, this guy. Only really just starting to get some airspeed up now, as I am, but he should have had a massive airspeed advantage. I think we can stay with him, perhaps finish him off here. Lost sight of him. No, I do have him. Oh, parachute. Now, I'm unsure whether I got him or not then. I do see a parachute underneath. And I see a fighter or a bomber on my low 11 here, co-out, so that could be him as well. So I'm going to head after that, in case that's him. I do see the bomber's long 12 a bit higher as well. And what have we over here? Various fighters, one of whom is probably hostile. It's that terrible motion blur again. There's a hostile fighter behind me turning in on a friendly. I'm gonna go help out. Down low on my 12 here. He's got a high nose attitude. He's climbing up. Everything seems to be happening in slow motion today. Just checking that I was actually on normal time. Because everything feels really slow, but I am running on normal time. Definitely a Messerschmitt 109 there, the unmistakable wings. Now we're on his 6, so just shimmy up behind him. He's got quite a lot of turn there. He's really slow. This is very odd. Feels very strange. Just missed him there. Is he done for? I think the pilot may be dead. That looks like he ran out of lift and rolled over, and that's why the aircraft did that maneuver. Yeah, I see something popping out. That is possibly the pilot jumping or just a piece of airplane snapping off. That thing is out of control. And he's actually going to go in. There he is. He's just gone in and created a big fireball in the jungle, the forest. I'm all alone over relatively hostile territory, so we're going to turn about 200 degrees and we're going to head out of here. So, mission accomplished in French. Still keep a relatively good lookout. The bombers are likely to be over there someplace. But I think I need to return to base because I'm alone and still relatively close to the front lines, although I should be friendly side now, and our airfield is off in this direction. So we'll turn this way. Flak firing, probably aimed at me actually. This is about, well, not too far away from where I bailed out in the previous mission. So, I know we're still relatively close to the front line. I'm gonna try and vector away pretty smartly. There is a burning village or something down there. Oh, and the smoke's disappearing and reappearing. Yeah, the smoke's disappearing and reappearing all the time. Some of that AI behavior was much less than convincing in this mission. After thinking, in the last couple of missions that perhaps they had got the AI behavior right, I am now less convinced again. Oh, wow. A lot of map artifacts and stuff flicking in and out too there. Formation at 1 o'clock Could be my chaps. RTB. Probably is in all likelihood. Yeah, these are my squad mates. We'll do a straight in landing from here. This aircraft really is quite good at flying fast with their zero throttle. Granted, I had the nose down, but still, I seem to be maintaining a very high airspeed. It's very reluctant to reduce speed as well here. Throw the flaps down already. It's not really slowing me down, unfortunately. We'll put the gear down as well. And we've got a flare. Just looking for flak or anything, but don't see any. So 250 is a bit too quick. We came in and landed at 200 previously, so I think we'll do that. If we can, 220. It's a very high sink rate though once you get down below about 250. Okay, that's good. We can hold that. It feels fast, but any slower than this and we start sinking very rapidly. So we just got to hold it here and we'll just drop down onto the runway, similar to how we land the Spitfire. Okay, we are down. I will be claiming 2 outright victories. I'm not sure what happened to that second 109 that I attacked relatively low and then throttled back and tried to roll over the top. By the time I'd completed my, shall we call it a yo-yo, he was out of sight. I'm not entirely sure what happened to him. I did see that parachute, which made me think he'd gone in, but I'm not entirely convinced that that's what happened. He may have got away, so we'll soon find out. Engine off. Chaps overhead, and we will check the mission outcomes. So there we have it, 2 aircraft destroyed, so I was correct. That second one did manage to get away, and it'll be interesting to find out what actually happened there, whether he turned back, or whether he was that one that went up and attacked the bombers, or whether he was that one that was climbing up on that other fighter, which I subsequently shot down. We may never know, but we'll take the 2 victories and another mission complete. Here's the flight plan, which doesn't really tell us much. That was where that friendly bomber was destroyed. So somewhere in here was where I engaged that 109, and it doesn't look like I did anything serious to him. Quite a lot of aircraft were shot down over here by this waypoint 3. That seems to be the case. Once the bombers have dropped their bombs, it's on their way home they tend to be attacked the most. I think quite a few of the bombers may have been shot down. No, this looks like mostly LAG-3s and Yak. So only one of the bombers was destroyed. That's actually good escorting. So the game is now calculating the results of today's mission. And we have to wait 20 seconds or so. What have we got today? We've been awarded the Order of the Red Star. I think this is about the 36th time I've been awarded this medal. And more kill bonuses. So there we go. I don't know if I can actually view my medal bag. Looks like we've had a few more chaps got shot down today. We lost Dmitry, we lost Nikolai, and Sviatoslav. What an interesting name. I wonder if that's related to Sebastian. Good. That's mission 4 of the campaign completed. In summary, I would say that was the least interesting and perhaps most disappointing of the missions I've flown based on the AI behavior, although we are competing with the paper Stukas for that award. So, we'll see what happens in mission 5.